What's up, guys? Time for my first question and answer, and I'm so impressed with all the questions that I got. I felt like they were really good questions, so I'm going to try and answer most of them. I've categorized them into categories, believe it or not. And then there's also some like subscriber case study questions, I'm calling them. So I'm going to save those for a separate one, but this specific question and answer vlog is going to be specifically on diet and competition questions. There is going to be some crossover in my categories, so I can answer complete questions. But anyway, so let's get started. How do I stay motivated? This was asked a few times. It started with just wanting to do it for health purposes. And I work in the health field. I see the results of living an unhealthy lifestyle and how that impacts your abilities and your health as you get older. And so I just want to make sure that I'm doing what I can now to be healthy. But also I made it a hobby. I really enjoy doing it, so that helps motivate me. I really enjoy seeing the results, and what really motivated me and kept me going at a specific intensity level was having a competition to look forward to and wanting to look like I belonged on stage, not just like I'm just some skinny girl stepping on stage in a bikini and heels. So what is my favorite treat meal? And right now it's Chick-fil-A's Cobb salad with avocado lime ranch dressing. It's just really good. I don't know what it is. Fried chicken. I don't know. And then what got you into fitness? I guess I've always been pretty active. For my job before this one, before I completed school, I was a waitress for a very long time, and I was very active. And then I was a ballerina throughout my high school. I did some softball here and there when I was younger, and I made the 8th grade softball team. And the coach told me the only reason why I made it is because the drive that I showed in my in the tryouts. So that says a lot about me, I guess. My family, by nature, just isn't real sporty. I mean, we're physical, but we're not, like, into sports specifically. At least not until my brother got into football. So, and he's 6 years younger than me, so I was already out of high school and everything. But I was into dance. So, as far as fitness and, like, staying active and stuff, I just like to be active. I don't like sitting on my butt. And I guess I don't know. Does that answer the fucking question or what? I don't know. And then I just answered the second part to that question. Favorite exercise, squats and deadlifts, just because I feel like you can really have, I don't know, I just really like doing it, and I like pushing more weight and seeing progress with weight and my physique, and my booty is like always been so flat, and so I really like squatting to get that booty. And I don't know, I just feel like deadlifts and squats are really challenging, so I think that's why they're my favorite. My goal with fitness, competing, and blogging. Fitness, just to be consistent. Competing, I would like to go pro. I'm going to do one more competition this year and a couple of competitions next year, but after that I don't know what's going to happen. So if I don't go pro, then that's okay. It's not what I measure the value of my life on, so it's just a hobby. Also, I don't know what's going to happen with my kids, where we're living, if I'm going to get pregnant again, so on and so forth, so we'll just see what happens. But for the next couple of years, for sure, I'm going to stick with it. What is your favorite low-cal treat when you are cutting? I didn't have a real typical cut my last time, so let's just say I'll answer that later when I get more into my cut. What type of diet do you recommend after a bikini show? I recommend reverse dieting and not like eating a bunch of shit and gaining a bunch of weight, especially if you're cut wrong. Then you just gain a ton of weight and then you get really depressed and so on and so forth. I'm sure you've heard case studies of that. You just have to keep your mind in it. Don't say, okay, I'm done with my show, now I can eat shit. Say, no, I'm done with my show, but I'm going to still be healthy and reverse diet. How do you control your cravings or just fatty, unhealthy foods in general? I have the major sweet tooth. The me a year and a half ago to 2 years ago would have told you I would have never been successful in this because I love my ice cream. What I do is drink no-calorie carbonated drinks, Diet Coke just because it's around my house. What else do I do for cravings? Stay busy. And then also, like, I felt like peanut butter really helps, something fatty that makes you feel full because you're not eating enough carbs to really get full in your cut. So to make sure you're not cutting your fat too much, but I felt peanut butter was really sweet, apples and peanut butter, bananas, peanut butter, and a rice cake, you know, something that just kind of satisfies that sugar, you know, part of it. Do I take steroids? And he's serious. No, I don't. And I'm not offended by the question because I'll give you my opinion on steroids since I don't take them. I'm a female and I feel like putting a bunch of male hormones in my body probably isn't the best idea. And I don't know, maybe there's ways to do it without all the side effects that women get. But I'm just not interested. I don't need steroids for my physique goals. I don't plan on getting like huge. I really like the bikini division. I like what the pros look like in the bikini division, and I just don't see a need to go up. So I just don't really, and I know some girls might do it in the bikini division. I just think it's stupid because it's not necessary. If I were a man, I would go natty for as long as I could until I just, you know, hit a plateau and could not get past it and really wanted something more for myself. But if I were a man taking steroids, I would want to do it the right way, the healthy way, under medical supervision. You know, I think there is a healthy way to do it. I think, you know, for whatever reason, it's super taboo to take steroids, and I think just a lot of people do it wrong and give it a bad name. But it is a part of bodybuilding, so all you natty haters that hate on people that do steroids, you just need to get over yourself and be proud of what you've done and what you've accomplished without quote-unquote cheating. But if you're in a show that's not drug tested, then they're probably going to allow you to take steroids. I mean, that's what they're doing by not testing you. And you just have to play the game knowing that other people are cheating, because it is against the rules. It's illegal, so if it's illegal, it's against the rules, right? I think when they compete at an amateur level on steroids, I mean, I guess you have to be an amateur before you're a pro, and the pros are on steroids. I don't think that's, you know, even a question. So it's just a part of bodybuilding. It's part of the sport, and natty people just need to get over it. I'm natty, and if I compete against somebody that did steroids and won, then fucking oh well, you know? There's more to life than competing. So there's that. How often do you practice posing before a show, and how many weeks do you recommend prep should start? Prep should start, it's all depending on how much fat you need to lose, how good of a job you did with bulking, you know, stuff like that. So I think the typical answer is like 12 weeks for amateurs, 8 weeks for pros. And me, I did a longer prep. I started cutting like a couple weeks ago, and I'm 12 weeks out, so I started 14 weeks out. I think one Fit Ash mom started 15 plus weeks out, but that's because she's doing a slow cut, and I'm doing a slow cut too. I think it's great. I think it's the way to go, and I think it's a healthy way to go, and you can compete and be super unhealthy, so I really appreciate her, and I also try and stay healthy throughout my prep. So there's that. Posing, I was posing every night for weeks. And then, you know, I made sure that I got what I was going to do down for the different things that they ask you to do. And then once I got it down, I wanted to put it into my muscle memory because I didn't know how nervous I was going to be on stage. And so then I could rely on my muscle memory to do what I wanted my body to do. So I don't think you can ever practice posing too much. You just can't. Especially, you need to get on those heels and make sure you're not cramping and, you know, being sore, and, you know, get your feet used to them, because I don't walk around in 6-inch heels all the time. I don't know about you. Thoughts on flexible dieting versus clean eating? I think, again, this just depends on you and your personality. if I eat too much sweets, that's all I want to eat, so I really try and stick to a cleaner diet. I do flexible dieting. I think it's not just about your body and what's healthy for your body. I think it's what you're capable of, and having a healthy relationship with food, having, a clear mind. You have to deal with the psychological aspect of the human body as well as the physical, So I think sweets in moderation are great. I think flexible dieting is great for that. But I think we need to make sure that we're disciplined enough to keep it clean. If you can't keep it clean on a flexible diet, then you just need to try and be clean and then allow yourself a cheat day, which is what I'll probably do too as I get further into my cut, so that I can keep it mostly clean. Plus, if you're eating shitty food, that's going to take up a lot of your macros, and if you eat clean, then it won't take up as much of your macros. So it's better off just to eat clean food so you can eat more when you're cutting, and then just have a refeed day or whatever. Okay, so the most important thing that I learned after my first show, and will it change my prep for my next show? The most important thing that I learned was the importance of posing on stage. I felt like there were some girls that looked better than me, that placed below me, and I only can say that it was probably posing. I didn't see them pose, so I don't know if their posing was on point or not. I can only assume that. And I feel like if posing knocks you down, then that sucks, Like, you put all this work into your body, but you don't present it as well as another girl, then that might knock you below her. So it's not going to change what I do. I'm changing up my routine a little bit, but as far as how often I pose, I'm definitely going to try and pose. So I would say that was probably the number one thing. No, I did not get a coach for my first competition. The reason being because I wanted to do as much as I could on myself. I take a little bit of pride in that too, not having a coach, but also I don't trust people with my body. I think a lot of coaches do it unhealthy. I think a lot of competitors are unhealthy with their prep. And I want to try and be as healthy as I can throughout this process. There are some people that I think I might trust, and I tried to contact one, but honestly, I feel like there's enough money that goes into this whole process, and I feel like I'm already being a little bit selfish, and it's okay to do that. I think it's okay to be a little bit selfish here and there, but how selfish and how much financially are you going to put into this? I don't know. Depends on how close I get, how well I do in my competitions, and how close I get to being pro and whatever. There's a couple of people that I have in mind, but yeah, no. The answer is no. How much time do I spend in the gym every day? I spend an hour in the gym every day. That's because I don't have a whole lot of time. I go to the gym and then I work and then I come home. I don't want to drag my daughter to the gym. Sorry. And there are other things that I feel that are more important in life than doing this. So I try and stay balanced. So I try not to be ridiculous about my time in the gym. Occasionally on weekends I'll spend a little bit more time, or if I have more time I'll just take my time instead of worrying about getting out of the gym at a certain time. Do I time my starchy carbs around my workouts? I definitely used to, especially my last cut. I would work out fasted and then have carbs right after. Starchy, not necessarily, but high glycemic. All right, guys, so let's finish up this diet/competition Q&A, and then I'll be posting more Q&A videos to complete it, but I have 3 more questions left. It says, it seems that everyone recommends different supplements, and there is a lot of conflicting information out there about what is even necessary. How did you narrow down which supplements were the best for your goals? I think bodybuilding in general, I don't think it's like goal specific. If you're talking about cutting, I didn't really take any cutting supplements. I ended up taking L2. Would I do it again? Maybe, probably not, because I prefer to cut just with natural ways. But as far as supplements that I believe in at this point in time and what I've learned, creatine for sure. It's great for endurance and strength. I've noticed changes in my strength when I don't have it. And it's one of the most studied supplements out there. I believe that the monohydrate form is like the highest quality, but I'm not sure, and I'm not even checking it. I probably should have, but I didn't. And protein is good to take if you need it, if you can't get all the protein that you want through diet or just don't like to, like me. I don't like a bunch of meat. Sometimes it's just convenient to shake up a bottle of protein powder. But lately I haven't been even using protein powder. It's just been through food. You don't need supplements, but they are good to have, especially creatine. I used to take arginine and glutamine. I think it's in my protein powder, but like I said, I haven't been taking it. Probably good, but not necessary, and I try and do it as natural as possible. I'm not a stickler on it or anything, but I don't know. I hope that answers your question. How long was your bulking phase? My bulking phase was 15 weeks. I would have had it be longer, but I have a show coming up, and I want to do a slow cut. My cut is going to be 14 weeks total. I would have spaced out my competition more so that I can progress more and bring more to the stage, but this is one of the last competitions of the year. It's in October. I don't want to get into Thanksgiving and Christmas, and my NPC card lasts 1 calendar year, so I would have paid like $100 and something for one competition, so I thought I'd fit in an extra one. The last question is, how does training for bikini differ from figure or basic lifting? And then she goes on to ask, basically, how do I train to look more lean, feminine, rather than train to gain tons of muscle? What I've noticed just by watching other people and from like what I do, it takes a lot of time, like years, to look like those figure girls. They've been training for a long time and slowly gaining that muscle. It takes a while to gain muscle. So I think that, honestly, I think bikini and figure train the same. I think figure have just been doing it longer, and they cut down farther so that they have more separation in their muscles. Bikini can be a little bit more soft and just have that quote-unquote toned look. But if you don't want to gain a ton of muscle, then just do it to where you gain the muscle that you want. Cut how you want to cut, and then just keep at that steady pace for maintenance, and don't be pushing harder than you already do. Don't add heavier weight. Don't, all of those things. But and then you can just maintain. But if you want more muscle, then you have to push harder and constantly increase weight and things like that, and repetitions and whatever. But you won't get big unless you do it for like years and years and years, and even then, you won't. But anyways, that concludes our video for diet and competition. And then next, I think I'll only have, there's a lot of questions here, guys. History type questions, future type questions, cardio and workout will probably be my next one, maybe, I don't know. And then there's a YouTube and miscellaneous category, so we will see how that goes. Thank you for your questions. I really appreciate it, and it'll probably end up being a total of like 3 videos, so this is one of 3. And see you next video.